live stream extravaganza. Today I have a special guest to talk about new era entrepreneurship, feminine embodied leadership, intuition-led business, the power of authenticity and realness here on social media, as well as the secret for a lot of success for a lot of my friends and peers, which is not here on social media. What this is and how we use human design to grow our businesses, especially with the new era coming. I want to talk today with my friend, my peer and bestie that I have weekly walks and talks, Olga. She is a 2-4 emotional manifestor powerhouse. We met in Los Angeles for the first time in person, but we're friends since over a year now. And I'm gonna wait a second so that she comes on. And while we're waiting, I would love to welcome all of you who are watching live and who are watching the replay. If you are live here with me, but also if you're watching the replay, please comment along. What is your human design? I'm a projector 6-2, splenic authority. As I said, Olga is a 2-4 emotional manifestor, and I would love to hear what human design are you? Now she's here and I'm gonna try to bring her on. Let's.
Okay. Is this working now? I don't know why I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Let me just go out and in again. Hey, Ginger. I cannot hear you. I don't know if anyone else can hear you. Should we go out and in, yeah?
You hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yes, we couldn't hear you before.
I tried to, I wanted to record this with my podcast microphone and I plugged it in, and obviously my phone is not as smart as it's supposed to be. So, oh, great. So the entire first part of the live stream was without sound. So let me just do it again with you. So welcome to the Iconic Lounge for Iconic Topics. Today we want to talk about new era entrepreneurship, feminine leadership, really the power of authentic messaging, the power of connections, and how we can bring more of our true self, real self into our business, growing our business, making bigger impact. Of course, using human design, but even if you don't know so much about human design, I think it's really the topic in general around really doing what feels good for you, stepping out of conditioning around what we see, what we should be doing on social media. And we talk about all the other things that come through, because anytime the background of these conversations is always this: we start chatting on WhatsApp,
Yes.
or we have our weekly walks, and then like, we need to record this. So we haven't had our talk today, our chat today on Mondays. We usually have it, but we are doing it now. And so, and just we let the world participate. So if anyone wants to contribute to this conversation, ask us questions around business, leadership, impact, purpose. Especially what would be very interesting now would be a topic around identity, stepping into your next level self and next level in your business and your life. We all came out of this intense summer of ego death, transformation, then the eclipse. Like, I think it was the most transformational eclipse for many of us. So if you experience that, if you have questions around stepping into that next level version and feeling like I do, of I just want to burn it all down and start from scratch, welcome. It's so aligned, right? So welcome, Olga. Olga, you're a 2/4 emotional manifestor. Please, what are you doing? Where are you right now? And introduce yourself to my community.
Oh,
For
thank you
everyone
so
who
much
doesn't know.
inviting me, Ginger, and it's always lovely to see you and hear you.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to have this on video, actually, rather than when we walk in.
Right.
So, yes, I'm a manifestor, but I'm also a mindset and high performance coach, and I work with high level entrepreneurs and leaders in a business who wants to get to the next level. And it's not always only about making more money and more success and climbing the corporate ladder, but as well it's about being truthful to ourselves, to our mission. And for next level for a lot of entrepreneurs is creating a positive impact within the world and building a legacy. So now I think people are measuring the success not only on a cash wise, which is amazing, but also what impact am I creating and what legacy am I building. So this is where I come in and I help people to get that to that next level.
Yeah, I think we're perfect. This is such aligned with the energy that we're collectively are feeling into the new era, 2027. For all of you who don't know this, we will have we're entering a new era, a new energy that we all will be feeling, and we're already feeling it, with this desire of more authenticity, more self-expression, more customized anything that from whatever area of life we want, that it really feels good for ourselves. And I love really to see the shift away from just the money to more meaning. And especially around this, there is suddenly a question about, okay, what is actually my purpose? What is the legacy that I want to leave, that I want to create? And for a lot, the conversation that I had lately, and coming back from Ibiza, that was one of the overall themes, is, okay, then the relationships get to change. You know, when we build a business solely for revenue driven and money results, and a lot of people have, especially this coaching industry, has conditioned us to define our success and self-worth for all undefined egos out there, right? Was this big trend of only sharing the numbers, only sharing client money results, and then anyone who is not in the field of business or not that successful, or doesn't even value the money, or is not, if you're not an undefined ego, it is not aligned for you, or it is more aligned to be driven by different values. And this is now shifting, that people who felt that for a long while, now see more and more people getting vocal about, hey, I actually, great, cool, money machine, build that, I still don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel fully that this is me. And I had that too, that I created something and that it was super successful, 7-figure potential, but it does not really, when I looked at it and stepped a little bit away from it, I didn't really see my essence or not my genius fully reflected in it. And this is what we both help our clients, right, with this stepping into that bigger potential, but with a meaning, with purpose, with heart, with fulfillment, and the money results. It's not either or, it's both. And especially women are now stepping into leadership. And this is what I love seeing in so many women like you do, with power and success. And what do you think is now in this time with the identity work of stepping into that, the biggest challenge that people have, especially women, when they desire, they want to be more authentic. But what is, there's this, oh, I want to bring more myself into my business. I want to create this more meaningful to me. But where do you see as a manifestor, where do you activate people? How do you bring that in out of
I
them?
think it's a very simple answer to it. I think getting in line and in touch with our heart and our intuition as women, and I would be one of them. We in last 20 years, 30 years been working a lot in our masculine. So it was about creating results, being resilient, getting through it. And this kind of power woman was the symbol of a success. So I can get through and I can get as high and I can make money. But this is not really what fulfills us and what is real essence of us and our feminine energy, because we also have got something so amazing as intuition, men as well. And when we use it and when we follow our heart, it's so much more simple for us. We are becoming more successful, but we're creating an impact. And it's very difficult to detach yourself from this identity of I am successful and this is how I get there, masculine energy, and this is my next goal, to be like, oh, I'm going to trust my intuition and follow my heart. It sounds a bit woo-woo, but I think that's the biggest activation when people, and I would say I do it with men and with women. So when we are actually going into core of who am I, what is it that is making me happy, where can I create an impact, and what puts me in a flow, what is really my energy for, that's the biggest and bravest moves. But when people make them, they becoming successful. It's simple as that.
Yeah, of course it is. And just first, there is this, a lot of people understand this, right? That mentally it's easy to grasp. Okay. Yeah, when I follow my intuition, it should be more aligned. But the conditioning is so ingrained in us, that the deconditioning around that actually is to let go of the shoulds and let go of the masculine and let go of needing to have a plan or the next strategy to scale. And this is where mentoring and support and coaching and all those modalities come in, and human design is one of many modalities to help us decondition around it. Where are these patterns? Because I always say that it's not anymore just the mindset. The mindset is actually old paradigm to mindset yourself to success, when the body is guiding you into actually a different direction. And then there's the gap between, oh my God, I want to do this. This feels so much better. And then the mind says, no, but you have built this. You can't just let go of it. People will not pay you for it. Or even like successful coaches or entrepreneurs fear to lose their followers and image, all those fears. And we are currently in an interesting time. October is actually the most challenging time now after the eclipse to really step into that next level version, because we go through the fear gates of the spleen. Every week there is a different transit. The sun activates a different gate. Last week was gate 57, which is the fear of the future. Like, what if it doesn't work, right? And this week we have the fear of failure. And there is the eclipse energy of, oh my God, I don't want to. I think we all are now very aware of what we don't want anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. And then there's now, and this is what I see, is to look at, okay, what patterns are actually so strong that you, even if you know this, even if you have the awareness around it, still cannot make the shift, still cannot break through it. This is, I think, the awareness is not the thing. It's not I think at this level where we are collectively, personal development, spiritually, mindset wise, awareness is not the thing. I think all of you are also here listening. You're super smart. You know where you're sabotaging yourself. You know where your blocks are, right? So why is it that you're still not doing the damn thing and stepping into that? Right? And there's the fears.
What do you
There's
think is
the
fear? What is the fear?
The fear of failure, the fear of, and the spleen is very much around letting. So if you have an undefined spleen center, there's not consistent energy, and there's not this natural energy around feeling safe, and there's a tendency to hold on to things to feel safe. Yeah. And I have a defined spleen. It is my authority, even so my decision making. And I observe myself that the more I align with my design, the faster I can let go of things that are not healthy for me. The spleen is all about, is that healthy? Is it something that makes you thrive, or is it holding you in your survival state? And letting go and stepping away from something, that's the whole proof of the pudding, how much you're fully trusting your intuition.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because your subconscious mind's gonna keep you in a familiar hell rather than go to unfamiliar heaven. So if we don't make this decision, and we're holding to safety, and a lot of times, you've mentioned in the beginning, we are holding to safety of our identity. So it could be the identity of my success. If I achieve my success by a particular way, and it could not be aligned with myself, it could be very masculine energy, and then it's going to be very difficult to let go of that safety, because what if it doesn't work? What if it works better? That could be a fear as well. What fear of success? When we're terrified that identity is not ready yet to grasp this success, next level of success. So I think that's the fears of, I'm safe here, I know it's my familiar hell, but I'll stay here because unfamiliar heaven seems really scary.
It is, that's true. Like, people are rather sitting in their shit than stepping into something. But that's exactly why is it so important to, or human design, it helps us to really understand how to trust ourselves, to learn who we are and what is aligned. And then I found so much confidence and certainty, and when I understood my design and knew that this is aligned for me. And when I studied it today, and the interesting thing is, human design is all about the body. It's all about the innate blueprint that's already inside of us, and we are born aligned, and then the whole conditioning gets kind of shoveled on top of it, right? So when people are afraid of stepping away from something or making a change out of failure, out of fear of the future, not knowing, that's all the conditioning of the mind. Now, when we bring it into it, it's right there. That even this whole seeking for a strategy is seeking for something outside of us. Absolutely. And how cool is that? That we have this blueprint, which is your chart, which is your manual, how you're designed to navigate through the world. There's even indicators for your life theme, what you're meant to bring into the world. It's your strength, natural strength. It's your gifts. It's also the vulnerabilities. Why are you stuck? What are you sabotaging yourself? Now, the thing is, I was thinking about if it's already in there, you don't have to do anything to get into alignment. It's you have to stop doing everything that pulls you out of it. And this is where it go if you go there a moment, so it is not about the strategy of, how often you post
Yeah.
or which funnel you have
No.
or what offers. It's like, some people say, oh, you can scale only with low cost and membership. Others will say only high ticket. And the next one say only offline. The next one say you have to have an offer suite, whatever. It works. What works for you will work,
Yeah.
because in the end, it's that full on authority, trust, and confidence behind it, knowing this is correct for me, this is what I want, I'm creating it, and so it is. And and you don't even need to know all the details about the design. But when we look at successful people, what makes them successful? And that's exactly why the new era entrepreneurship will be about. It's they don't give a fuck about what other people say and what you should and shouldn't be doing. They are trailblazing, and they are setting the trends. They are doing what comes out of them. And then there's such a conviction behind their message, behind them. They see themselves, and this has to do with a lot of successful people have defined egos, because there is this self-assuredness, this strong self-belief of, I am the best, I have a mission, I have a message to share. And in the end, it's that what is the core of it, which is exactly, when I look at the chart, it's so aligned. And then they design their business, their life, their marketing around this. Yes, we need strategies, we need whatever automation to make life easier, to that you be in your genius of creation and visionary leadership. But in the end, it's that certainty, and that is what will have people stand out. And we will see the ones now, and this is really interesting, we see the ones who are more money driven and more faking it, let's say, in terms of they have a brand, they have this curated image. That will now more and more people see that there's still insecurity behind the scenes. And that is what I observe.
I agree with this observation. I think this year, 2024, is really showing that a strategy is not everything. And also, you cannot use the very same strategy for everyone. We are very different. We've got very different strengths, very different energetically. And our talents, our personalities are different. So we can't use the same cookie cutter for different types of dough. and I think this year we're seeing it, because the strategies are no longer what is useful or what it brings the success. Of course, if you're repeating a strategy, if you're going to be cookie cutting out, you're going to create some form of a cookie. But if that was working for everyone, every single one person who is buying and using strategy would be like a 7-digit entrepreneurs living the lives of the dreams. And it doesn't work like that. And I love what you mentioned when you said, sometimes people don't even have a clue about the human design, but they are aligned within the human design. And I think when people align within themselves and their intuition with the gut, when they're really in tune, that's when they go for it. Like the other day, someone reposted about airports, and they said, like, all of the articles which came up when they designed airports and how people were laughing at it. Right now, I think it's $20 billion, which brings to Apple every year. So it's like huge amounts of money, or million. I don't know, maybe it's million, but it's a huge amount of money on those little airports. But without digressing, I think getting aligned with ourselves and knowing what is in our gut is so important. And I think that's what successful people do. They go, I believe in my idea, I'm just gonna go for it,
no matter what. Yeah.
definitely.
And what actually the difference is also between leadership and entrepreneurs, or just people who are coaches and try to get clients online. It's a big difference in the actions and the decisions they make. And whether we all have self-doubts. We all have self-doubts, even those, those Apple, the, the successful entrepreneurs, they all, but the difference is they don't stop. They don't let that stop them. And the thing is, with a lot of women who are, I do believe that they are way more intuitively guided than they think. They just got so good at questioning everything, meaning the conditioning, the not self pattern is so strong that when you can only repattern yourself by doing the opposite. So when you really want to make a change, then you have to be so disciplined and strong. And this is where mentorship is key, because otherwise everybody would do it. There's no, there's this the same thing with everybody actually knows how to eat healthy and move your body and go to the gym. Why do most people have an accountability problem?
Yes.
Right? So it is really, and there is a reason in the chart. I can see it, undefined root, undefined egos, this commitment, even the G center, if it's not defined, like the identity of a healthy person is not consistent there. Like there is, when you know this about yourself, you can set up a strategy for yourself so that you master your not self. And for us women, I've met so many women at the retreat and lately they have this, actually I want to do this, but I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to be too much. I don't want to, it disrupt the group, or I don't want to offend people with my opinion. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And this is my strength, to role model really what it means to be in your authority and to be authentic in your truth. Yeah, without judging, without anything. But it is like, so many women have incredible gifts and they have this deep desire to do something different. And I usually say, just go for it, and nothing will happen. Also, you don't know what's going to happen. It's all in your mind. You just make it up. It's just a story that you tell yourself. Yeah. And you and I, we're both second lines. We naturally do stuff that we have no clue about it. Right?
Yes.
So, and this is where it's so fascinating when we both, for example, talk about how we live our lives. Yeah, we travel a lot. We kind of are very spontaneous in, making plans, jumping into an airplane and going to LA and to Ibiza, and that's true freedom. Yeah. And for us, it was always like, why is not everybody doing that? It is so normal, right?
I mean, maybe it's because it's not freedom for everyone. I know people, one of my best friends, if we freak her out, she would not like that. She needs to have everything planned. But I think referring back to what you were saying about women in the business and in generally, I think we've got generations of condition of how we're supposed to be. And then when we became in last years successful, it's so scary to be different, so scary to be, no one is, very rarely someone would comment on, let's say, a male entrepreneur and tell him that they shouldn't wear something because they're going to be perceived the wrong way. I had countless comments of what I should or should not wear, and I should portrait myself to be able to work and get the business. No one would tell to her, like, oh, you can't wear shorts, and oh, you should not wear, like, don't show any pictures from the gym, or don't show any pictures in your swimwear. No one would say that. We women have got this, and very often, unfortunately, comes from other women rather than male. So there is, I think, this condition.
Because they project their own conditioning and fear onto others, right? That is so true. Yeah.
So there is this condition, and then there is this fear of, if I truly express myself, people may understood. May people, like, if I truly express my, how, like, almost it's like I can't truly express myself and be me and be fully sexual and fully feminine. I have to be like this mode or that mode. I can't be, let's say, sexy and be really good at business, because that's not working together. It's almost like this type of conditions. And I think that's really difficult to break through. So a lot of times I think, when I work with women more often than men, we have got some form of image of, and almost like a
These
role.
boxes,
This is a
right? The
business
boxes.
me, yeah,
Yeah.
and this is the personal life me, and this is the, I don't know, sexy lover me, which is like, actually, this is you. Like, be yourself. And it's very difficult to be ourselves, because then we are feeling in danger and scary. And that's why,
Yeah.
we've talked about it. We've met a lot of people who are very successful, a lot of females who are very successful on the paper, which were saying there's something missing. I don't know where I'm going, actually. But everything, because they are in this box of,
Yeah,
this is how that's what I am.
yeah, and they also lost themselves in the process of building the business, and lost themselves in, this is how you should show up,
Yeah.
and this is how you should dress, and this is how you should speak. And at this point, this year is the year really of resurrection, of there was so much death of identities that are not
Yes.
you, to really uncover, hopefully, that everyone who listens to this has now more an understanding about what is more true to you and who you truly are. And what I see is, so with you, with your defined G center, you, and when clients come to you, you will help them connect back to who they truly are. Because for me, I have an undefined G center. It's inconsistent, and it is, the question is, it's really hard to say, who am I? Like, my sense of self is not consistent, and I experience myself more when I'm with people. And then the question is, then, do I like who I am when I'm with these people? Do I really have this? Is this really me? Does this feel authentic to me? And in which direction does my life then go? And this is crucial right now, especially if you're fourth line, because the circle and the environment, even the
Yeah.
location, impacts us energetically even more than we think. And most likely, your circle holds you back from living fully authentically, stepping into your fullest potential, expressing yourself unapologetically like you are. Because most people do not want you to really go out there, outshine, grow, step into your potential. So we have still 3 months left, 4 months left till the nodes change. And right now, it's really about looking at your circles as your relationships, the environment, also your relationship to your business. Can you really, really, really fully authentically be you? Or, and I experienced that myself, do you feel you're limiting your true self, your essence, your genius, because you have built something, or you are with people, or you are at a location, even literally, a country or whatever, where it doesn't feel fully like you? And that is the question right now.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because today I asked someone, how much are you ready to give up for your future? Because something which we don't talk a lot is about, everyone wants to quantum leap, everyone wants to create a new life and better life. But what we have to remember, you can't build something amazing on the ruins of something which you haven't tidied up yet. So
Yeah.
we need strong fundamentals, and some of the elements of our old life don't serve us. Absolutely. And a lot of times is a security of toxic relationships. Again, our brain's gonna choose
Dependency, right?
familiar and hell over unfamiliar and heaven. So even toxic relationship could be this familiar hell, which our brain's gonna be like, okay, you're secure here, you know how to behave, it's fine. Why to get rid of it? Because if you want to move forward, you have to. And I've been like, you're talking about eclipse. I feel like I've came out other side of the washing machine program with some some spinning. Like in August, I'm Cancerian, so it's like it's really affecting me. Like, whoa, what's going on? But it gave me different perspective of looking into my relationships around me. You know, like who am I spending time with? Who am I inspired by? Where do I put my attention and energy into, and where I should put more? And again, it's like, where do I put it because I got used to it and I feel obliged? Where do I really want to put it? And what is gonna be part of my future life, which I'm creating and which I'm expanding? And I think that's so important. We had that conversation, remember, when we were in LA. It's like looking into spending time and interactions and relationships as if we were investing money.
Yeah, of course.
So different
You do.
than
Yeah, your energy, your time, your energy, your attention, you invest in, especially if you're fourth line, there is an opportunity for you. Do you get something out of that? For projectors, it's important. We absorb people. And I am so, you can call me an energetic snob right now at this point. It's really, it's radical. When you truly live your design, it's so radical because your body shows you, and otherwise you get sick. And if it's not your body, you will see it in your bank account. Like, I think that you cannot deny it anymore.
Absolutely.
It's there. It is there. And there is this soul calling of, you've got to step into it now. Of course, there will be so many people still not doing it, and they will suffer, and they choose to suffer. Yeah, there's so many people who are not live their authentic self, but it's a choice.
Yes,
it's a choice. Yeah, and we're here for the ones who want that. Yeah, to create it in a more aligned way. And I get it that it is. I mean, I was sitting there, and at some points, like I asked myself, how long do I want to really lie to myself? You know, you look in the mirror and say, okay, is this it?
Yeah.
And if the question is no, the new era is coming, so it will get, the pressure will rise. If you're not living your purpose, if you're not living fully authentically, it will get harder because it gets more obvious.
Yes.
So I had a big physical warning. In fact, no, we cannot, literally, my body is at this point where I cannot absorb that energy anymore. I cannot bring my energy to it. My ego is not willing to work for it anymore. So but you have to, this is the full moon coming up. Yeah. You have to make space first, cut the cords, close old loops. And this was after this eclipse, right? A lot of things closed, and then you can focus on your new things. And this even requires this transition phase where you maybe are in between. The transition is the scariest thing, where most people default back to the old. Yes. I caught myself even like, okay, now I got to do a master class or something online, when my decision is no, I'm working offline more. And only I declared, or made the decision, I'm only working private, one-to-one, or in groups and at the retreat or at events. So that requires a complete change and upgrade and alignment and adjustment of my business model, which is amazing because I hate stagnancy. Yeah. I hate it. And it's when something is boring or feels I'm just coasting because it's so I can do it. It's, but it's not my genius. There must be something else, but you have to clean out the old first. Otherwise you get distracted. You keep, it's the same, like you have to end that relationship with this guy instead of, still seeing each
Go and
other.
date before you go date and meet your husband, you know. It's like, absolutely. I think this is so amazing, and I love how, like, I am very new to comparable to yourself, to human design, and I love how, for my logic brain, you telling about how you can really feel when you in your body, when you align with your human
Yeah.
design or no. And when there are wrong the relationships or influences around you, we can feel it in our body. If
Yeah.
anyone who you talk about being in a toxic relationship or toxic friendship, they would always say, oh, I had the feeling about this person. And I know I have a very strong feelings about people if I'm around them, and sometimes the energy, literally, you would have physical symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they say, like, if you fancy someone, you fancy someone. If you don't, you don't. It's almost physical. Your body will tell you before your brain will tell you. And I think
Exactly.
listening to that is so important. A lot of times our physical health is just a projection of what's going on within inside.
Always. No, 100, I would say even 100%. 100%.
Absolutely. And I think also, for my own personal experience, what is important, if we around toxic for us energy, very often we become toxic in some way for ourselves or maybe for someone else around us, and that's just waste of energy. So clearing that space is such an important thing for creativity and making this positive impact. And you can't quantum jump without quantum crumble. You need to crumble the old reality
Yeah.
and dissolve it before you move to this next reality, is the fact. And I think a lot of people don't talk about it and don't take it into consideration. They're like, oh, I'm just going to be here now, the warm and cozy and secure in my comfort zone, and then I'm just going to magically say some affirmations and use a strategy. I'm just
No,
going to quantum jump. Oh, I'm in a new reality. No,
I
no,
think no. I absolutely. I think most people are not willing to do what's really what it takes. And I'm very radical. Have always been. My mom said, you're a person, a person of extremes,
mm,
and I see it in my chart. Yes,
yeah,
I am, and um, and I think that discipline
mm,
is something that is my strength. And I always thought, oh no, it's too masculine and it's too limiting, or I need to be more feminine. And I felt that's not me.
yeah,
That's not me. And my gift is to bring exactly to those moments of transition where you have to be disciplined to break that pattern, because most, especially women, say a lot that they want success, they want the quantum leap, they want the life, but they're not willing and not capable to do it alone. I would not say that they were not capable at all. It's just the willingness, and this whole social media kind of, and you're right, because, and we're changing it here with, because a lot of people are not talking about how fucking hard it really is. Yeah, and that's why
mm,
we are doing this more, and
yeah,
that's why I also started the podcast, and I want to share more about how hard it really is to decondition,
mm-hmm,
to, and it is lonely at some point, when you clear out all your relationships and your friendships, and then maybe you are alone for a time, but then very quickly new people come into your life, which is great. Um, there is the fear of, yeah, but when I let go of everything, then I'm there. That is the inner
yeah,
child. That's the little girl, right? This is exactly the deconditioning, and the deconditioning is radical,
mm-hmm,
and also living an aligned life and living a life that is extraordinary and that is successful is not normal. As I mean, it is. It can be normal, but most people are especially in Germany, they're so risk oriented. They cling on to the little things, and they're not big thinkers. So we need more women like us,
Mm.
especially women, to show it is possible. You can create this,
Mm-hmm.
and it is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And if you still think you sign up for a master class and you experience your quantum leap, you got sold to your not self.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not doing master
Mm-hmm.
classes anymore. Yeah. That's why I am in integrity with what I'm preaching, to shift everything into
Mm-hmm.
mentorship and mostly personalized one-to-one support, which you have as well. Um, and even today, I was sitting there and I'm so bored. I'm so tired about seeing those other successful coaches and people. I was throwing money at them about, oh, I had this, whatever, 60K day, and in this class or in this program, I'm teaching you exactly the steps how to get clients and have painfuls, whatever. That's great. I'm all about the painfuls and high cash days and all that. I love it. I'm a designer of money, right? But I want the truth. I want realness. I want to hear what it really, really takes, and also the fuck ups, the things that are not working, because this is why those really, really successful entrepreneurs are where they are, because they went bankrupt. They did, look at Alex Hormozi, right? They're sharing the entire truth. Gary Vee, like, this is the difference between the top tiers
Mm-hmm.
and the wannabes. Go.
Absolutely. I love that. I think what I would say as well, I don't know if you agree with it, maybe it's not like it is hard, it feels hard. Actually, it's easy, but it feels hard. And the moment when people start feeling it's hard, sometimes from my old mindset, I thought I have to hard work for everything, that it has to be like really hard to get there. Actually, to get some stuff is easy. It feels hard because you have to face yourself, you have to face your
Yeah.
safety, and you have to step into a risk without any guarantees. And I think that's hard. That's hard. So that's why having a strategy is like, oh, I'm stepping into a risk, but I've got a guarantee it's going to be successful.
There's
No,
no guarantee. Even, yeah,
no guarantee.
right?
Uh, and also facing your
Agree.
own. Sorry, say again.
I agree completely. And I love that you even make that shift, because you are the emotional authority. I'm not. So you really reframed it in the correct way to say, yeah, it's feeling hard. And the thing is that, we avoid the discomfort.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then we question ourselves because we then go, oh, what am I doing wrong? Sometimes it's not about doing, it's about feeling. Because I remember like a few months ago, I think that was before we went to LA, we were talking and we went for a walk, and you asked me this question. You said, if there was, I think it was like maybe I got it, if there was a one thing you could be doing and you're not doing yet, to get you closer to where you want to be, do you know what it is? And I'm like, yeah. And it's so obvious, everyone knows answer to this question.
Actually, the interesting thing is I asked exactly the same question today in the energy update for this week. And I'm like, okay, because fear of failure, right? Usually what we fear most and are not doing is exactly what gets us there. And I asked exactly, this is my favorite question.
I love that question.
I love this question. What are you actually not doing that you know you should be doing? And for me, it's to get fucking this podcast
Yeah.
out there. Like, it's exactly this, because I know, that there is the program that is running, that is programmed us to stay small. Yeah. And there's a reason why especially women are supposed to not step into their power, right? So, and when you're not doing it, you're a disservice of your purpose. You're not stepping into it. You're not fulfilling really your job. You're not doing your job. Your audience, your clients that are looking for you cannot hear you. And I'm just talking to my fucking self right now. I have barely, for example, I've barely talked about my Ibiza retreat which is it's actually in 2 weeks. And I know that my biggest gift is being in person and giving people that ego activation.
Yes.
So when you want a quantum leap and this perspective shift and this full on motivation and stepping into that full on radical ownership over your genius, then come to Ibiza. Yeah, and I've not talked about it, so I get to do it myself. I also have these sabotage patterns of, oh, what is, right? But I don't want to teach anymore. I don't want to just talk about a concept. I'm in it. I'm physically in that
I love that.
involvement. And I know that you're the same with you as a manifestor. One session, one conversation, 1 hour, one day, one weekend with us, and your life completely changes. You're going to be so fired up. You're going to leave with clarity, a strategy, a roadmap. I can give it to you because I have both. I have that fire, but also the strategic components. So just as a side note, if you are watching this and you feel now activated and you want to come to Ibiza, Olga might be there too. Then definitely message me, because this will change your life. This will change everything, including your entire revenue for next year and the business plan included. But this is exactly what we need to ask ourselves right now. Where are you not taking the action that you know you should be doing?
Yes.
Yeah, that gets you there. And why not? This is where you go and better have a mentor to work through it.
Absolutely. Someone
That
who
is one
asks you
question.
questions, someone who asks you questions, which you could ask yourself, but you don't.
Yeah,
And what is amazing is in believing and seeing that actually all the answers are within us. And that's
that's
why
the
coaching and
point.
mentoring is so powerful, because it allows me to look into myself. I don't need external strategy. I don't need a course, or I just need to be activated. You know, having conversation with you activates me to the point that
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, why did I not ask myself this question? I ask myself this question every week now. Like, what is this one thing I could be doing and I'm scared of? And if I know, because these answers are within me. My best strategy is within me. No one's gonna
exactly.
sell it to me.
Nobody is as smart as you are. And as a projector, it's my role to ask questions. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really that is our role, to ask the right question. But most projectors are just giving answers and kind of blurbing what they see as the solution or whatever. But no, it's about the right question, because the answer is always in us. And it's about mentorship is, for me, about
Yes.
activation, expansion into what is possible. Really, that when I see other 8-figure entrepreneurs like, fuck yes, I want that too. I know that it triggers my
Yes.
defined ego of I want this, my possibility view about what's possible. And how I see mentorship for me, my clients, and why I sign up with certain people is to just build that trust in myself. Yeah, I don't want
Absolutely.
answers. I don't want pushed into the deep direction. I see that for my clients as well. That's why I'm changing everything, because I don't want to teach. I don't want to just give the answers. This is not it. It's the human design is really for us as a tool to really access that and build it and decondition to have that rock solid, be in your authority, follow your authority, and be seen from your clients on the market as the authority. That's all. That's all we need.
And it's simple, but like even if I remember, like, memorize my journey with your guidance on the human design, you making me realize what being a manifestor looks like and means. It was just like light bulb moments about my childhood. I was like, oh, that's why everyone reacted to me like that. That's why my parents were like that.
Yeah.
And also, about how I need to trust within myself, because those answers are within me. And when I do it, when I activate myself, when I go for it, things just working out. It's just like sometimes I'm thinking, whoa, this is really weird. I really manifested it. But you go like, yeah, Olga, you are a manifestor. And I'm like, okay, Ginger, this is so crazy. I said,
Yeah, right, exactly. And then you don't think that something is wrong with you, right? Then you just really trust yourself and that intuitive feeling. And this is all that it is. And I see definitely the change in this industry around women discerning now who they hire and who they work with, between the ones who are very much in their not self.
Yes.
They're seeking answers. They're seeking the frameworks. They're seeking, a formula. There will be still people who are throwing money at other coaches to say, and especially their fifth lines, usually those coaches, I have the answer.
Yes.
I can save you. I can fix you. Just trust me. And they are all giving the money and their authority away and their power away. But then we will see even more embodied, aligned people who are seeking mentors. And this is how I invest. And at this point, I'm creating nothing but activation,
Yes.
expansion, building self-trust, accessing deeper the truth. Whenever even just one dinner conversation I had with a client last time, went for a VIP dinner, and after that, a whole creative, channeled new offer came through. And then we created the marketing and the strategy, etc., around that. But that was just because we took away everything about should, but I should do this, I should do this, and like, no, what do you want? And I see right away where the strengths are and activating that. This morning even, I thought, you know what? I'm so bored opening my phone and getting sold this, oh, here's my framework, and then you get my PDF, and then get my hooks, and then you get my signature this and signature that. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want this anymore. I'm so bored by it. I also don't want to sell in that way. I mean, we all did this. Yeah, we all did it. It worked for a while, but to be honest, I feel like I very much cheated on my soul, my purpose, and my true genius. And it took me and my deconditioning, that's very honest sharing here, over a year to really draw that line in the sand and say, my genius is to work with leaders. I always said that from the beginning on, I'm a leader's leader.
Yes.
So that doesn't mean that I'm not, that I feel better than or too good to work with beginners. It's just that I'm not in my highest. And this is for you as well. You probably are listening to this and you know that you're meant to operate at a different level, and that's usually higher. Yeah, but you keep catering to clients and offering services, or working with people who are not bringing and activating and challenging the best of the best in you. So that means you're below your potential energetically, earning wise, impact wise, purpose wise. So I'm stepping in here as a role model and say, my highest purpose is leaders. It will be only exclusive. It will be also a different price point. Yes, stepping into that lifestyle mentoring. I bring the food in, the lifestyle, the alive part, all these things. And suddenly, well, you know what happens? You feel light again.
Yes.
You feel activated again. You feel lit up again. And the scary part was definitely to make that decision to close down. Sorry. Definitely not my season here in Germany at this time. Last year where we met for the first time, I was in LA. So this is where I belong, either in Ibiza or LA. So I'm gonna go earlier to Ibiza. I just decided that this morning.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Because I also know I'm my highest when I'm there and channel the most incredible things. And what was the scary part? Why it took me 1 year? It took me, I'm going to share with you. It took me 1 year. Last year in Sardinia, I had that already shown to me. So then 1 year, I kept trying to scale the academy. Not trying, I did it. I focused everything on the academy. It's an amazing, most amazing offer that I had created. Highly successful 7-figure offer. However, I noticed exactly that what a lot of leaders go through. It's not of the highest. It's not the highest purpose. It's not bringing everything out of me. Now, it took me several rounds to decide to change that offer. It's not that I'm not doing it anymore, but it needs to change so that it frees up my
Yes.
capacity to focus on different things and to be of my highest inside of the academy for my clients, but also different things. Now, that took me signs from the universe for a year that I ignored, that then came to a point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. But it was there all the time. So I know all of you who are listening to this, there is a sign where the universe has this big signpost. You're meant to do
Yeah.
something bigger, but your mind says, oh, it's not working, or, you know, it is working. Maybe you make good amount of money with the thing, but you have to make that choice. Is it in your highest? If you feel called for something bigger, now's the time to change that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I love that. It activates me. But I can see what you're talking about is so common, is the sometimes the fear of letting go of a current success, because this made me successful. How am I gonna,
Yeah.
you made, it took you a year of signs and you
Yeah.
made a brave decision. Not many people are as brave. And then they would be sitting and, I know myself, like I hold it to a very successful corporate career. It was very successful.
Exactly.
I knew that my soul is not singing with it. I knew I'm made for bigger things, but then also my limiting beliefs, not self, was going, who are you to think you made for bigger things? This is the bigger thing any woman in your family did for generations. Like, hello. No one had the global position. No one been traveling with the world. Who the hell are you thinking you are? But yeah, it takes the bravery and takes the really trusting yourself to take that jump. But it's
Yeah.
also
And
like
that,
what is important for us. For me right now, yes, money are really important, because I feel like when I can give money my own meaning, and they give me freedom, but they are not the most important as they used to be. Like I used to be about what am I going to get and how am I going to get it. And now the meaning of my life is so important, and the way how I feel. What is the reason I'm waking up in the morning, and what impact I'm creating? I
yeah.
couldn't for a very long time to work it out. Like I knew, like as a manifestor,
Yeah.
I know I'm here to create an impact. Now I know my impact is through activating and taking other people to the next level. Um, you know, and that was groundbreaking. And I remember on the very beginning when I was like, this is the type of people I want to coach, from the very beginning when I
Yeah.
became a coach. And a lot of people were like, yeah, maybe you should start from like coaching. And I was like, no, doesn't align with me, doesn't feel
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would put you down and go, oh, but you're so successful with that. Why don't you just
Yeah.
continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear them. We can't listen to them,
Yeah.
because in our gut, within our body, we're going to have a feeling. It's like going on a date with someone.
That's
You're going to
the
know
point.
before you start talking with them if you're
It's
in a
there.
secret.
It's right. The first. It's the first second, but then it's like, oh, I'm gonna give him a chance, or you have to get to know him. Like, no. And
Yeah.
the thing is that as a defined spleen, now healthy, now aligned, I can let go fast. But if you hold on to something old out of fear, especially first lines and fourth lines have a problem, because it
Yeah.
takes away a foundation. So there is something that is true, that you feel that fear.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to fully let go, we need to create a different
Yes.
alternative and different opportunity, a different foundation. This is where my genius as integrating human design and business comes in, because when there is the clarity what the more aligned foundation is, my clients let go super fast of underlying clients, underlying business opportunities, and we like really potential of earning and income opens up. And this is what a lot of coaches don't have. They don't have this understanding of human design and the business to bring that in, so that then it collapses time,
Yes.
and quantum leaps and breakthroughs can happen faster. I want to say that uh, what you said. Yeah, there's this definitely a manifestor thing to not allow yourself to think bigger,
Mhm.
bigger, like the vision beyond the vision.
Yes.
And for us women, of course, in general, like, yeah, don't be too much, don't outshine, don't be extraordinary.
Mhm.
But in my world, the extra is our
Yes.
ordinary. This is what I always say. Yeah. And one thing that, because you love the question, I say that the whole mindset thing around money and everything, it doesn't work anymore because the old paradigm was all about the
Yeah.
mind. Make decisions from the mind, make, pro and contra, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Like this is where, but the mind, the third eye is an awareness center. It's not a decision
Mhm.
center. It is not an authority. It's just awareness so that we have awareness, we
Yeah.
have clarity, but the decision is in the body. And then another thing that, hold on, there was one thing I wanted to, I lost it again. There were a couple of things that I wanted to share. But when you then, to finish that thought first, so
Mhm.
now as we move into the era of fully embodiment, you can only get to your next level, to change your life, to have really breakthroughs and quantum leaps through different actions and embodiment, meaning this identity shift
Yes.
and this. So, and what helped me is, a lot of people are still teaching and still operating from, okay, so I have to have, a new belief, I choose a new belief about money or success or whatever. And then kind of manifesting affirmation or whatever. It's all in the mind. It's still on the mind. So I gonna flip it. I love to flip things. And I said, it's your block is, or your belief, or your mm, next level is not a belief, it's a thought. It's not a thought, it is a pattern.
Mhm.
So when there's the self-sabotage pattern,
Mhm.
yeah, then there can also be there it needs to be replaced with a positive pattern.
Mhm.
And this is where the deconditioning in human design starts, and we can see in the chart where those patterns are and which actions we then get to
Mhm.
train ourselves. Yeah. So what helps me currently is, because I have an undefined G center, it doesn't work. It really does not work for me to think about what would my next level self do,
Yes.
because the identity shift doesn't happen through that thinking about it, feeling it. There's no consistency. There's no
Mhm.
consistency. So what helps me is the action, meaning it's not a thought, it's a pattern. That means which action, it's not about thinking about something and what I do or do differently. It's really the
Yes.
doing of it. So I noticed that I lately, to really step away from, for example, letting go of a seven-figure income source, yeah, and building this new. I asked myself, okay, if it's a pattern, what actions, what pattern repatterning do I need to repeat? That means I got to focus on building that new thing until the old thing kind of moves away so much that there's no tendency to go back anymore. And that is how my
Yes.
identity shape changes. Do you get it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. I think it would work different for different people. That's my view.
absolutely.
And
I'm just
I
sharing
think
this.
in a form of pattern and thought, there is a level in my belief that we can upgrade our identity by imagining and really stepping into being that person rather than rethinking, oh, I've got this limiting belief and I need to get over it. Like, who are you without this limiting belief?
Yeah.
Step into that identity. And it's
But what
almost
is
like,
step into that identity? It's action. You
yes,
take action differently, you dress differently, you show up differently, right? You make decisions
you make
differently. That's
decisions differently, yes, and automatically you don't believe that you are limited by these limits. It's like what would the most by the way, I need to finish in like 2 minutes because I gotta
okay.
have another call. Sorry, I just looked at the time. What would the fearless real me do? Like,
Yeah.
and it's this embodying, like you fully embodied the decision you've made because you've upgraded spiritually, and like before you saw the evidence in your real life, because you're like,
Yeah.
I know this is real me, this is this true fearless me, and I know it's gonna work. I don't need to see the evidence to let it go. I don't need to work on what is limiting me, because I am stepping into being the person who is not limited. That's it. I'm being me.
And you create the evidence
Yeah.
yourself. That's the big difference between the ones who are sitting and waiting for evidence, or the ones who are really in their authority, trusting themselves. They create the evidence. This is the big difference. And I love that, closing our conversation with this. I forgot what I really want to say, but that is for the next conversation.
Yeah, let's do next conversation. We were like,
But
oh, let's do it
let's
half
do
an
it.
hour, 20 minutes later.
Okay. I love it too. Thank you for being on here. Thank you
Okay.
for everyone who joined and watches the replay. I would love for you to comment what your biggest takeaway is. And then I would say until next time, because we're going to repeat this.
Thank you. And I look forward to hear more about your Ibiza retreat. We all do.
Well, thank you for activating me.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
And I speak to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.